Not even sure where to begin with this one, so just will. Welcome to the Daily Neitz, daily look at classic films, modern cinema, and the world of professional wrestling. And today, the great movie I'm talking about today is, of course, Quentin Tarantino's 1994 classic Pulp Fiction. Now, a lot of the great movies I've looked at, and I keep saying great movies, I don't know, I just need to keep reminding. I'm going through Roger Ebert's list. He wrote a series of reviews, called them the great movies. This one, I think, is one of the more recent ones. He doesn't get much later than the mid-90s in this list. And the rest of the movies I've watched are important, either the time they came out, they were really considered great movies, or they changed how films were made, that kind of thing. This one impacted pop culture in such a way that we're still quoting this movie 20 years later. Like that shot of John Travolta showing up at the Wallace's house and kind of awkwardly holding his coat and looking around. That's still being implanted into scenes as a meme today. Most of Sam Jackson's dialogue, quoting of the Bible, and what does Marcellus Wallace look like? That whole speech, like that is quoted for decades. The scene in the 50s restaurant when they're just dancing the twist silently, just dancing, has been parodied all over the place. Like this movie has just changed. It didn't change filmmaking, so to speak. It did, but I'll get to that. But it changed how English-speaking humans talk in a way. Quentin Tarantino, and this is before, Django and Hateful Eight, and even before Kill Bill. This was before he was crazy violent blood and gore. There was a little bit of that in Reservoir Dogs, but there wasn't like hoses of blood spewing out like in Kill Bill. The N-word wasn't spoken every 13 seconds like in Django and Hateful Eight. He didn't try to rewrite history like with Inglourious Bastards. In this one, he's just telling a simple story about a gangster and the people around him. The gangster being Marcellus Wallace and the boxer who doesn't take the fall. And his henchman trying to get his briefcase back and his wife home alone. Like, it's just little stories. And it's simple but told in a complex way. And it just adds so much to the storytelling. And we forget now that Tarantino has become sort of like a punchline, and there's all this talk about, like, can he use the N-word this much? And all the buckets of blood stuff is before that, and going back to how he got started and how good his dialogue really is. Yes, he throws the N-word in there. He says it himself on screen. And it's a little weird, but the dialogue is so good and so quotable and so memorable. Even when I'm not thinking about this movie, the bit when Bruce Willis's character Butch's I guess girlfriend, I don't think they're married, the French woman whose name is escaping me, and she gives that speech about her pot belly and she wants a pot belly, and the line, things that feel attractive and things that look attractive aren't always the same. I worded that wrong, I know. But that line, that thought, has stuck with me since the first time I watched this movie. It's just like a powerful line of dialogue. And everything in this movie is great. Royale with cheese. Do they speak English in what? Like, these are great lines from cinema history, and they're only, in a movie 22 years old. The movie's younger than I am. And also, Tarantino uses music, like, I don't want to say classic music, but he takes music from his childhood and redefines it. Before this movie, Miser Lou was just a surf rock song that not a lot of people knew, and now it's just known as the Pulp Fiction song or the Black Eyed Peas song, but forget the Black Eyed Peas, don't want them here. In fact, I'm sure somebody watching this may have heard me say Miser Lou and don't know what that song is until I say the Pulp Fiction song. It's from the opening credits. And so much music is used so well. Even though the movie takes place in the 90s, the 70s music just accentuates all the action perfectly. It's so well utilized. I still remember the first time I watched this movie. It was overnight at a cast party in high school. After the closing night of the school play, we would all go to somebody's house and hang out until morning. And one of those parties, somebody put on Pulp Fiction, and as soon as the opening credits hit, after that opening scene where they're planning to rob the restaurant and the credits hit, I knew that there was something special about this movie. And I had no idea who Tarantino was at the time. I think Kill Bill had just come out, so the name was floating around, but I didn't really know what it meant. I hadn't seen a lot of rated R movies even, or classic movies, so I knew something was different about this movie, and it's such a joy to watch. Just every story pieces together so well. Every little bit, Harvey Keitel as Mr. Wolf, and Christopher Walken's scene with the watch, like, these are just great scenes, and they all come together in one film and just create this wonderful, like, experience of a movie. And it's no wonder that Tarantino became, like, this, well, I won't say became a great filmmaker, because he was a great filmmaker before with Reservoir Dogs and this, but he became, like, this household name after this movie came out. And it makes perfect sense, because it's his movie. It's nobody's movie but his. The performances in it are all great. They are, and those actors make the characters their own. But the film, the movie, the 2.5 hours of story, that is Tarantino's, and it's 100% his, and it's by far his best work. Like, I love Kill Bill. I do. The first one is a little bit more fun, but that kind of attracts a different side of me. It's like the ultra violence, and I don't want to watch it every day, but I enjoy that. I love Inglourious Bastards, rewriting history, and all that, and the drama, and Christoph Waltz and stuff, and that movie is a great movie as well. But Pulp Fiction is Tarantino. It is, like, start to finish, him in film form, and I love it. It's just awesome. I was a little bit worried going into watching it again, because it's been probably since college since I've watched it last, and it's one of those movies that everyone, like, puts the poster on their wall to seem cool in college, but it's not like Boondock Saints. It holds up, and it lasts, and it's fantastic. I think I said all I wanted to say. I've been gushing about this for too long. Freaking love Pulp Fiction. It's so good. Tomorrow, Monday Night Raw, the normal Tuesday fare. John Cena's big return from injury is tomorrow night, so we're going to look at that mañana. But until then, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment section below. Let me know your favorite Tarantino movie. Like, just throw it out there. You better say Pulp Fiction, because it's the right answer, but I'll take some wrong answers too. You can also follow me on Twitter at Daily Neitz. And until tomorrow, bye.